We did double check the forecast and the highs will be in the 50s over the weekend, so we'll be counting ourselves lucky that this cold snap kind of went away. Didn't last too long. Good morning, Ruby. Yep, we've got Taekwondo today and we've got robotics too. Wow, sure got the makings of a great day in the sky this morning. So I'm in traffic aware cruise control here and Ruby's pulling up behind this pickup truck. That's pretty typical Tesla come up behind a vehicle behavior. Comes up, stops, when traffic starts moving, goes again. I was hoping we'd be stopped there for just a second more. There was a clip yesterday that someone purported to be a Tesla vehicle on autopilot clip that was circulating because, you know, the shorts are pretty desperate right now. And it showed the Tesla creeping forward and stopping and creeping forward and stopping and creeping forward and stopping. And it was a dash cam video, obviously, or, you know, GoPro. And it had inserted the word autopilot on it. And, you know, there's no substantiated evidence that that was even a Tesla. You couldn't see any of the dashboard. You couldn't see any of the Tesla controls. They just, you know, made it look official by putting the word autopilot on it. There was no sound, so you couldn't, you know, hear anything, which a lot of dash cams don't record sound or have sound turned off. So I thought today a few times here, since I'm almost always in traffic aware cruise control on 401 going to and from town, I'd record a couple clips and, you know, let's sort of look at what real Tesla autopilot traffic aware cruise control behavior looks like when she comes to a stop behind a vehicle or slows up. Now I have my following distance set to 7 unless Dawn's changed it, but I can obviously tell it's set for pretty far back. Let's see what it is, if I can do that here. Yeah, I've got it set to 7. That's where I like it. I understand that that doesn't work for other people, especially in bigger cities and heavier traffic, where if you give them even a foot, they'll try to insert themselves in front of you. But it works for me out here. As traffic comes to a sudden halt quite frequently, and I like to give me and Ruby the maximum amount of time to stop and not rear end the person in front of us and to be paying attention. And if somebody happens to insert themselves in front of me, well, that's okay. I know I'm faster than them. Ha ha. Oh God. Ruby's offended. He didn't do that on purpose. It just, you know, got an older vehicle and burning oil. But that was sort of natural. There are a couple of stoplights ahead here, and I'm sure we're gonna come to a stop here in a minute. I'm just saying, me, you know, I'm willing to prove we're in the Tesla. I know you guys know, but tap down my max speed here to 50. Actually, let's do 48 coming into Garner here, where the speed is now 45. I have to remember to go in and tap it down every morning. And I do have to remember because traffic doesn't really, you know, pay too much attention to that speed sign in the morning. That's the nice thing about traffic aware cruise control. Ruby's just going to follow along behind the car in front of her. Well, I guess we're just going to get really lucky with all these stoplights here, which works for me. So here's a light. Ruby's stopping, not me. You heard the brake. Okay, she's come to a complete stop. You can see that I'm on traffic aware cruise control. We're not moving. She's not inching forward. She's not doing that impatient driver thing where she, you know, is moving, trying to anticipate when the light will turn green so that she can jump off the line or any of those other behaviors. You see the Infiniti next to me is doing that driver creep thing. Be nice if the guy in front of me moved a little bit and see if Ruby moved at all. I would say if the Honda in front of us moved a substantial amount, she might inch forward a bit. But here, he was already in motion before she decided, yep, I'm gonna take off. Thankfully, after, you know, the last update we had, she started taking off with a little gusto again. It was too slow there for a while. And see, once she comes to a stop, she really doesn't keep on moving at those stoplights. So my mission this morning, besides my normal Pokemon stuff, is to go home and sort out exactly what it is we're going to do at robotics today. The kids keep asking, when are we going to start Sumo Bots, over and over again, and I've said every time very consistently the first Thursday in February, because we will not have the competition until probably Mother's Day weekend in May, the second or third Saturday in May. And A, it doesn't take that long to build a Sumo Bot and then work on the code. And B, if we finish up too early, then all of our robots are geared for Sumo Bots and we really can't use them to do other stuff. So one year I started earlier and that didn't work so good. So I don't want to start too early, although they're ready. But also we might pick up a couple of kids for Sumo Bots, possibly. It's not a full prerequisite that you participated in the fall to participate in the spring, as far as I'm concerned. Now, I don't want a whole handful of new kids that I need to start from scratch from in the middle of the year, but we could assimilate. We could assimilate a couple of kids. So any point, I'm sort of churning around in my head exactly what it is we're going to do today. And I have several partially built, complicated robots. A race car, a robotic arm, a color sorter, and I'm thinking I'm going to hand those out and show the kids the building instructions and have some subset of them go put them back together / rebuild them. See, I had to cannibalize them to pull parts off and I don't have enough bricks to leave them assembled. And then some other subset of kids work on the coding aspects. Hopefully this week and next week we could finish that up. I guess I'll tell them if they don't finish it up, you know, we could have to spend another week on it and not start Sumo Bots. Maybe that'll get them cranking. Because I do think they really want to start Sumo Bots. But, you know, usually I know exactly what I'm doing. And today I'm going to have to go home and pull out some stuff and see what's what. And go from there. So it'll work out. It'll work out one way or the other. I had some of the kids last week doing the JavaScript course on Khan Academy, which I really want them all to do and finish. But not during our normal robotics time. That would be a great, you know, I don't have a lot of homework tonight here. Let me spend 30 minutes working on that on Khan Academy. They seemed like they were having fun. Those that got far enough to draw some pictures. That particular exercise has a lot to do with manipulations of the display, you know, to the screen, the JavaScript course. Good programming skills, but that's sort of the outcome there as well. Let's manipulate the screen. At any point, that's what's on tap today. My brain is filled with thoughts of the EV3 Lego robot. So Ruby's slowing here. She gets down under 5 and she will come to a complete stop. And she just stays stopped. She's happy. She sees the truck in front of her. I'd say the symbol there on the driver dash is a truck. Not that that really matters. Now the car in front of me's moved. He's moved a significant amount. He's moved a couple of spaces. Ruby didn't move. Like I said, traffic aware cruise control, I'm assuming autopilot's, you know, same behavior. She really doesn't creep even if the guy in front of her is creeping. So I just noticed I have a Wake County Sheriff's deputy behind me. Not that I did anything to draw attention, but he's back there. And Ruby's just chilling here at the light. So the pickup truck is creeped again. That's substantial now from where he was originally. All right, she moved up a little bit. I would say based on the gap he created, that was fair there. She put the brake back on. But he creeped quite a good bit before she even thought about moving. And when she did move, it was a really slow creep. It wasn't like she was mistaken and thought he took off or something. Because believe me, when she takes off, when she's ready to go, she's really ready. Now the traffic's really going to move, of course. And she really, you could tell she picked up the speed there. But you got to remember, she sees the car in front of the truck also moving at that point. So this is the behavior when you're on traffic aware cruise control and she pulls up behind somebody. Typical behavior. The sheriff turned off at that intersection, so he's not still behind me. Not that I care, since I'm doing 57 and a 55. But I wanted to point out one other thing too about videos you might see about Tesla is, you know, unless you know the software version and the date of the occurrence, you kind of are missing some vital information, right? Because 2 years ago, Ruby wasn't always stopping so good if she would come up at a high speed to a stoplight. I'm sure you other Tesla drivers that have had your cars for a while remember that there was a time when you would really super need to babysit coming to a stop at a high speed behind another car. And this is not the case now. I mean, not that you're still not watching, but maybe not hyper vigilant about it, because the car very consistently, even at a high rate of speed, stops for vehicles and objects, even ones I've seen lately that are only partially in the lane. You know, the software has really super improved. And so, you know, just saying, you could see a video of something a Tesla did, but if it's from 2 years ago, why would we even want to look at that? That would be such an older release of software that it just wouldn't matter. Boy, that pickup truck guy up there is just obnoxious. I don't know where he's going, but we'll be down to the 45-mile-an-hour Fuquay speed limit here in a minute coming into town, and this is prime territory over here for getting pulled over by the FVPD. So, hey, you go for it, buddy. You just pull them to you. Pull them to you. Gas is at an extremely cheap $2.21 a gallon here this morning. I don't know, but if I had to guess, those are all K9 units. Maybe they're going to walk the environmental park over here. I'm home. There's Gray. And there's Tux. Very sound asleep. Hey, Donnie.
Hey, pretty girl.
It's that time. I know, seriously, right?
Loaded her up.
There's extra stuff in there today because we're actually going to be building. So I had to bring my parts bins, and then there's some partially dismantled from last year fun robots, a color sorter, a robot arm, and a race car.
Wow.
So, excuse me. So I'll be having the kids put them back together today. Sometimes that's harder than starting from scratch, but hopefully it helps them get them done.
Right.
So thanks for helping me load up. Well, I don't have full regen right now. I saw the triangle a minute ago. I just got the dotted lines. Now, I don't like winter. I know some people tell me that they lose regen for 3 or 4 months out of the year. So don't, you know, and I'm adding from my own mouth. And so don't complain about no regen for
Right.
3 or 4 days out of the year. No, I should have I didn't put her in the garage because I didn't want to let the hot air out, and the cats have been in there today. Had I put her in the garage, she may have stayed warm enough, but that's okay. It's a trade-off. Either the car's going to get cold or the garage is going to get cold.
You'll probably have regen before you get out a few clothes.
I hope so. I do better when I have it.
Yes, I know.
Yes.
Kiss, kiss.
I guess I could remember to turn on climate and stuff.
Well,
I don't know if that helps with the regen, though.
Cookie, that guy, he said that the preconditioning no longer warms up the battery.
Okay.
The cabin precondition no longer warms up the battery. And I don't know, he didn't actually have a reason, but he uses Scan My Tesla to have confirmed that that's the case.
The case.
Now,
she's not guessing about it. I got you.
Well, that's also was an old
video
nose cone Model S, so maybe, I don't know.
Right, all things with tests should fluctuate from software version to software version, and possibly between S and X and the newer 3.
But
so
Elon, we want MCU2 anyway, so get everybody up to MCU2.
It'd just be easier for service.
Yeah,
everyone. I mean, Don and I remember trying to support 3 or 4 levels.
God, all these different
it's
levels.
like, oh my God, will they just not get rid of that old software release and let us just focus on fixing the new stuff up?
I was so happy when we went to fix packs, where everybody would go from one fix pack to the next, because that was way easier than these individual fixes.
Right. Well, Don and I did a lot of stuff to study what drives service cost up, and one of the things is having an extra release in the field. Right. That hopefully somebody there is old enough and been around long enough to remember how that one works.
Right.
And I think Tesla could be approaching some of those early nose cones without the tech package. I mean, like how many people are around that worked on them when they came out? So yeah, I totally get that. I'm not really parked where I want to be today, but I love the precision with which I can put Ruby next to a curb and not hit it when I'm really paying attention. There's not, you know, a ton of room there, but there's enough room. So it's a very messy day for us here today as we take apart our competition robots and get moving on new robots. Well, I see this front of a race car here. Hopefully by the end of the day we'll have a full race car. This robot is going to sort bricks by color. It lets you put these little bricks here in the chute, and it'll put them in the right spot based on the color. It was so hot up here today, but they made reasonable progress, and we'll pick back up on the color sorter, race car, robot arm, etc. projects next week. So I'm back at Ruby ready to leave, and I am remembering, you know, it was easy to remember because I approached the car from the front that I needed to turn that wheel away from the curb, as well as, you know, pull forward to the right since I can, so I don't hit that back wheel. You know, I absolutely did not hit anything when I parked because I was really moving slow and looking in the mirror, but I've remembered on the way out too now. Hey, Donnie.
Hey, pretty girl, glad you're home.
I'm glad to be home. I'm hungry. Are you hungry?
Yeah, I'm getting pretty hungry.
Okay. Well, I got us home, and the meal I had put in the Instant Pot before I left was ready, chuck roast, and we ate pretty quick, and then it was right back out to Taekwondo, and I've been playing Pokemon, obviously, and I'm about to go pick Johnny up. Just was trying to relax for a few minutes, but I started battling Cliff. I tried him on all 3 accounts, and I cannot beat him. I haven't beat not one of those special guys yet on any account. It's just getting really frustrating. 97.4 miles today.